Hello, everybody. It's Bill, along with Dawn.
Happy New Year.
And Chris, Marty, and Jim. Sorry, did the Brady Bunch thing. It didn't work out. This is episode 1 of season 11. And
2025.
I think we have a few things to talk about. Mainly, some dude tried to die in an airplane going overseas, shit like that. Way to take a wrong turn on a vacation, right? And we're going to talk about Zulus, nothing but Zulus, and many, many, many more things.
I'll just apologize now.
Yeah. And we'll be doing that in 3, 2, 1.
Big Duke, 60 Eagle Thrust. Put on side war off. Sing it loud. And the Romeo Foxtrot, shall we dance?
You are listening to the SITREP Podcast, your source for everything related to historical wargaming. Whether you are looking for the latest wargaming news, reviews, painting tutorials, or playthroughs, you will hear about it right here. So grab your favorite beverage or brush and let's hit it.
All right.
Let's talk about what a groove that is for a minute there, right?
I created that from scratch. Yeah. I'm just letting you all know. That whole intro I did from scratch.
I don't know what it is about the music that makes me want to dance like the gopher from Caddyshack. That's my response.
Hey, sometimes you just got to react.
All right. Let me bring up the chat window. Overlay said chat. Go to big screen so everybody's got their beautiful faces there with some commentary. Commentary.
Okay.
Or commentary, however you'd like to say it, depending on where in the world you're from.
Oh,
guys.
I thought you meant like a common tree versus an uncommon tree.
Right. Could be.
Yeah. See?
Could be.
We are flexible. We overcome and we adapt to the situation.
Well, Marty's got Fred. So
Gunny Highway.
Uncommon tree.
So improvise, overcome, and adapt.
That's right.
Your man cheated. He improvised. He overcame. He cheated. He adapted.
Just watched that movie not too long ago. I think in the last couple of weeks. I forgot how much I love that movie.
The only thing I don't like about that movie is how it shits on my MOS. But that's okay. Supply, admin, and logistics does not come off good in that movie.
So speaking of Fred's a work in progress because Fred is going to be an Ent.
Whoa!
Oh, that's awesome.
So I've got the frame built out.
That is fabulous. I love that.
He's coming together nicely, except so I did him out of pipe cleaner, but he's a little because so I might have to reinforce him a little, but yeah.
Very nice.
That'd be cool.
I'm gonna make him a straight up Ent.
Love it. Love it.
So let's talk some stuff. It's been a while. Catch up. Who should we start with?
Are you looking at me? Because you already know what I'm going to say. Oh, you want me to pick? I think by far Jim wins with the storytelling aspect.
All right, Uncle Jim. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You ready, Uncle Jim?
What'd I do?
Mr. Oriskany, why don't you warm us up with a snippet of history on this subject?
No.
Oh, James, don't make the story too short.
For the love of God.
I so enjoy a really long story, especially when I hear your wise voice, James.
I do like the British accent. I do. I feel like I'm in a James Bond movie.
Yep. Oh, yes, Rusted Beetle. There you go. See? We've come full circle.
Oh, look at this. And he's making the commentary pun.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, Uncle Jim, hit us. What happened on your trip?
Like Alice in Chains said, they ain't found a way to kill me yet. Yeah, I mean, we've already had literally like a 2.5 hour stream talking about everything that happened this last December. It's been an interesting couple months. Let's just put it that way. A whole bunch of stuff I won't get into, but went to the Ardennes for the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Bulge. I was supposed to meet up with, actually, I did meet up with Piotr, our old friend from Poland. And 35,000 feet over the mid-Atlantic, came down with what turned out to be acute appendicitis.
Nothing cute about it.
Yeah, there's nothing cute about it. I can tell you, not personally recommended. All right, it's getting a very bad Yelp review.
0 stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
you never lived in the real battle of the bulging.
I went for the immersive experience.
Yeah.
I mean, we landed in Bastogne. We landed in Brussels, drove to Bastogne, and in Bastogne Hospital. I mean, how many people can say they were in Bastogne for the 80th anniversary, dropped an organ, a couple of quarts of blood, and came home with 4 new holes in me. So there you go.
That is dedication.
Right?
I mean,
There you go.
that's the
I
full
know,
Monty.
right, Jen? Yes.
Yeah.
Where did,
Did you get a T-shirt? That's all we want to know. Did you get
Oh,
the T-shirt?
I got several T-shirts. Yeah.
do you
I
have
got
to pay
several
extra
T-shirts.
for that package?
Yes, I did actually. I did wind up having to pay quite a bit for that package. Let's just say I was out of network.
That,
As far as my healthcare
Understatement.
coverage goes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Belgium has a much more less nonsensical healthcare system than we do. The people there were really good. It's really kind of a crapshoot when you get sick in Europe. I mean, you can end up in countries. When it comes to Europe and healthcare, there are countries and there are countries. And fortunately, one of the things that went right was I wound up in one of the good ones. So
That's
yeah,
good.
they took pretty good care of me. I think they took very good care of me.
Yeah,
And
you're
we
still
managed
alive.
to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If I had tried to float, they straight out told me if I had tried to fly back and get taken care of in Miami, that I wouldn't have made it. In all possible meanings of the phrase, because it would have gone at 35,000 feet, and they can't get you into an emergency room when you're like over the
Right.
Azores.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. If it actually bursts, if you get to an emergency room, well, you guys know better than me. To an emergency
Bad.
room like right away, you're still in for a long recovery. But now they got to it in time. I was in the hospital a little longer than I was supposed to be, like 4 days instead of 2 days, because it was so close. I mean, the pin was pulled on the grenade, and that fuse was burning down. It was right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I won't get into all the gory details, but there was a little bit of cleaning up to do in there. So they wanted to make sure the antibiotics were really working. So I was in there an extra couple days. But Jen managed to move some things around as far as flights and hotels and everything else like that. And we salvaged like maybe 3.5, 4 days out of what was supposed to be a 6-day trip. So it all worked out. I
Yeah.
mean, Piotr came to visit me in the hospital, despite my bad directions. So Piotr's in a town called oh God, I can't remember the name of the town, but there's 3 towns in Belgium with almost that exact same name.
Oh,
It's like Helf or Hoof or something like that. But then there's Grande Hoof and Petit Hoof. He's in Grande Hoof, and I sent her just to this other town. So halfway there, she realizes she's going the wrong direction because now Piotr's literally sending us coordinates. He can't send us an address, so he's sending me like artillery coordinates on my phone. And I'm calling Jen on the phone. I'm like, check your fire, River Bravo 6, check your fire. You're heading the wrong way. So then on the stream, Piotr's joking around with me. He's like, Ariskini was reenacting the operations of Skorzeni's 150th Panzer Brigade, where Germans in American uniforms were literally changing road signs around and sending American units to the wrong town and stuff like that. So anyway, it all worked out in the end. Is the short version. Again, we went over all the bloody details literally in a long 2-hour stream that went up like 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. So check that out if you're really interested. We have hundreds of photographs, Piotr and I both. Everything from the American cemetery for one of the main American cemeteries in Belgium, up by Ligier, if I'm saying that right, all the way to Patton's grave down in Luxembourg, and everywhere in between. We followed 2nd Panzer divisions. We picked that division because they were one of the few divisions that actually made good progress. Actually, of all German divisions, they made the most progress. Where they crossed the German border at Duisburg, so I was actually in Germany for about 30 seconds. You walk across a very short, 80-foot bridge. So you're there, where the Battle of the Bulge started, the German start line. And from there, I mean, we went to a whole bunch of other places, but we also went to the stone at Foy de Notre Dame that marks where this is as far as the German 2nd Panzer Division got before they were stopped by, curiously, a combined American-British force. One of the very few times Americans and British really fought shoulder to shoulder on the same battlefield. And then if you get all the way to the Meuse River, you can see where the furthest German soldiers ever got. This wasn't really any kind of a divisional thing. It was just 3 guys in a captured American Jeep. And there's a spot there on the map, or there's a stone there right there by the river that marks where they were finally taken prisoner. So we went the whole breadth. We went from 7th Army, 7th German Army, way down in the south. We actually spent a couple days in Clairvaux, down in Luxembourg. So we saw the extreme southern wing of the German offensive. We went all the way up to Krinkelt and Rocheroth, where 12th SS Hitler Youth tried to break through. That's going to be 2nd. I've got their patch here somewhere. 2nd and 99th U.S. Infantry Divisions. A somewhat underappreciated part of the Battle of the Bulge, because Bastogne gets all the press. But Bastogne only really becomes important, and what happened with the 101st only really becomes important because of what these guys did. Along with the 99th, I don't have their patch. The Battle Babies, and of course the Indian Head Division. I think these guys are in Korea now, if that sounds right.
Yep.
You guys, yeah. So 2nd U.S. Infantry is still around. And they were fighting the main German army. I mean, the main German thrust. I mean, all the most powerful divisions. 1st SS Leibchen out of the 12th SS. And it was only because they held their ground at places like Krinkelt, Rocheroth, Elsenborn Ridge, Sandvik, that the Germans were forced to kind of sidestep to the south to make their push, because they weren't getting anywhere where they were supposed to in the north. They sidestepped a little bit to the south, and that, and only then, does Bastogne become a focal point. When the Germans were forced to, give up Plan A and go to like Plan G. They went down through a lot of plans before they realized they were not getting anywhere. But that's when Bastogne became important, and of course we get into the 10th Armored, 9th Armored, and the 101st. And up here is also where the 82nd was further north.
Right.
Stopping 6th SS Panzer Army, which again was the main German force. 5th Panzer Army was supposed to be really just a support force. They wound up carrying the ball because they couldn't get through their planned assault corridor. And that's when all the famous battles, air quotes, wind up happening, is when the Germans have to go to their alternate advance path. But we pretty much did the whole thing. We didn't, of course, hit everything we wanted to, and because we were now much shorter on time. And some of the places that we went to, we had to like really buzz through them because, again, we were on a compressed timeline. But went to most of what we wanted to see at Battle of the Bulge. Also went to some places Jen wanted to see, some big, Disney-esque, princess castles, which were also Battle of the Bulge sites, so that was cool. And then on the way home, we are on the way back to the airport, swung by Waterloo, because how can you not? I was like literally like right on the highway back to the airport in Brussels.
Right.
Waterloo is right outside of Brussels. It's like 8 miles south of the Brussels suburbs. So it was an adventure. It was a wild trip. Let's just put it that way. But all told, it went okay. Got the staples out. I'm down to the put vitamin E on the staple, or the staples were to keep down the scarring. So I'm down to the cosmetic phase of recovery. All the antibiotics are done. All the blood thinners are done. Staples are out. Everything's good to go. Yeah.
Be ready for bikini season.
Right. Perfect.
Well, we're glad to hear that you're recovering well, and it sounds like you were able to make a lot out of your trip still. Yeah,
we salvaged, like I said, about 2/3 to 3/4 of it, which was a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you learned, like everybody else, no plans go.
No battle plan survives first contact with appendicitis.
Yeah, no.
The new version. That's the new version.
Appendicitis 1, Jim 0.
0. Yeah. I fought it to a draw. I managed to get something out of my trip.
Yep.
Did you bring it back?
No, I did not bring it back. No, I did not. No. They actually took a bunch of stuff out of there. Because they actually took the stuff that they found in there and put it in some petri dishes and started to grow it. I don't know if they were like starting some new kind of bioweapon or something, but in all seriousness, they wanted to make sure they actually grew what they found in me.
Yep.
It sounds gross, but in a lab, and then started bombarding it with the same antibiotics I was taking to observe it and make sure it was working. So
yeah,
that sounds like a step above and beyond.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, that's a lot.
Right?
Yeah. Damn. And looks like we got a pretty good audience today. Hello, Ben. Hello, Rusted Beetle. Hello, Jen.
Yep. Chris.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
completely uninteresting after Jim's shenanigans. The only thing I've been doing is I've been doing some hobbying, and I am trying to accomplish a just paint January. So,
Oh yeah.
I have attempted starting on the 31st, Marty, right? Just painted every day.
Nice. Good for you.
Nice.
And if I haven't painted, I at least hobbied.
That's good.
That is very
So-
good.
I'm working on some of my American reinforcements, just super briefly. And what makes it fun is that it's not for a project, it's not for a video series, it's not for a an article series. It's just like 15 guys that are for an army I'll probably never use, but it's
Yeah.
literally it's all set up on the dining room table, so I can literally just sit. Like, I guess I'm finally, after 10 years, figuring out what hobby's supposed to be about. Like, you just sit down for an hour or two and relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how far you get. You know, you're not trying to paint 80 insurgents for a video you have to shoot, 4 days from now, so that you can get everything in the can 6 days from now, so that you can do the editing 8 days from now, so you can publish 10 days from now. It's a very different experience when you're just literally doing it, and you can, you put in MASH, you binge a couple episodes, and you just paint a little bit, and then. But like Chris is saying, if you do just a little bit each day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
Hey, Marty, how about you? Oh, I don't know what happened to him.
Uh-oh.
Too much coffee.
Dawn,
Well, guess what I've been doing?
nothing.
That's not true.
Magic.
I've been magicking. I've just been obsessively sorting and reorganizing my collection, putting things away in a manner that makes it easy to find things and build new stuff, because Jesse has been really back into Magic again. And so between Bill, Jesse, and I, we've been playing a lot of Commander, and that has involved putting new decks together. And so it's been fun, just because we talk about what we're playing against, and it's like, oh, you know what, you're really missing this sort of thing, or I'll have to look and see if I have something like that. So actually, that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I want to build a new Goblin deck for Commander. So first, I have to finish putting away the cards that are still on the table, because Bill needs the table because he's got something to do this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to get that stuff put away, and then I'm going to construct.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much me. Although I have been craving to play Pandemic. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the bird flu now or what, but I need to crack that back out. So yeah.
We
How
did
about you?
play Pandemic Roman Empire.
We did.
That's a lot of fun. And it's historical.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So-
where the barbarians kind of take the place of the actual disease.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of fun. What have I been doing? Well, I, been doing that thing that they do that with those pieces of cardboard.
Hey, and you've been doing pretty well. So
Wait till Joey gets in town.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wreck all ya.
And then, getting prepped for the 126th anniversary of Islandwana. Zulu, nothing
Lord.
but Zulus.
I'm not familiar with that. Can you,
But we're gonna use the WoFun set with the Victoria Cross. I've never done Islandwana. We've always done Rorke's Drift. Classic. If you guys have not seen our Battle of Rorke's Drift in 28 millimeter, go back in our history and you will see the series on it. We did it in 28 mil. We had the Horns of Buffalo terrain set from Warlord Games, and we printed 400 Zulu miniatures and painted those up. I wanted to do all
I was gonna say, which is
4,000.
a measly
Yes, a
number
measly
compared-
number.
compared to
January
Bill's
of
initial.
22, I believe. for
Thank
what
you,
we're
Jim.
looking
I believe
for.
you're right.
Yep.
So, I wanted to do all 4,000, but we kind of ran out of time. I didn't realize how long it would take to print and paint 400, let alone 4,000. Especially when you want to do each impy, the proper association, the shield colors.
we
Yeah.
have props and everything.
Right.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that was a good video.
yeah.
If you guys get, you have to put your mouse wheel through a little bit of a workout because it's back like almost 3 years now, but it's back there and it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. So we'll be doing Islandwana in the WoFun miniatures. Just it'll be a different visually because the board is just 2D. I thought about trying to print up some little tents and things like that. Just I don't know. The board just wouldn't be conducive to that. I would have to make an actual battleground. So we'll see how it goes with Victoria Cross because these are meant to go with this game. So we'll see how it plays.
Well, and it'd also be interesting visually just to see how those WoFun minis look on that surface, you know. So
there's nothing wrong with 2D maps. I mean, we do 2D maps in Panzer Leader all the time, and they're some of our most popular videos. And if you're doing Iswandala and Rourke Strip, like you're kind of doing both at once, or
no, one side is Islandwana, and the other side is Rourke Strip.
Okay.
So you pick one or the other. So
well, I mean, as big as Rourke's Drift was, at least on the Zulu side, Iswandala is a lot bigger. That's like 1,000 British or 1,200 British versus like over 10,000.
Yeah.
That's like an order of magnitude. For the British, it's 2 orders of magnitude. You go from 100 to 10,000 or over 1,000. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 1 order of magnitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, to do that in miniature would be. I mean, I'm sure it would look amazing, but that would be a piece of work.
Yeah. We would have to do it in like 3 mil.
And that would be like literally like a year of work to put on that one game.
Yeah.
Or just a lot of fun.
A lot
There
of
you go.
yeah. So we'll see. Also, I've been tooling around, Jim. I don't know if you remember this. There used to be a piece of software from SSI called the War Game Creators Kit, where you could actually create your own war games.
Okay.
Basically Hex Encounter, virtual. I don't know if you ever tooled with it at all, Jim.
I'm definitely familiar with SSI.
Yeah.
We just did our Battle of the Bulge Panzer General stream. That's
Let me
SSI.
see if I can pop it up. It's actually under.
Was that the company started by Jim Dunnigan, or was that SPI? I always get those two mixed up.
Maybe it was SPI. I thought it was SSI, but maybe it
no.
is.
I'm sure you're right. I'm just trying to get SSI. Jim.
See, now Jim doesn't need something to help him create war games because he is.
Right.
That is true.
But for us mere mortals, Oh, why can't I not find it? I get the stupid things for it all the time.
Because that's how it works. It's always when you're looking for it.
Oh, it's GOG. Now it's GOG. I'm an idiot. All right, hold on a minute. I'm bringing it up, guys, just because I talked about it, and now I want to make sure I am guiding you correctly.
I apologize. He started SPI, not SSI. Jim Dunnigan, by the way, is literally, just for people who may not know, I wish I could say my connection with him, but why I'm talking about Jim Dunnigan is he's the guy who designed Panzerblitz back in the late 60s and then published it in the early 70s. Huge guy, designed like Waterloo back in the 60s for Avalon Hill. He was one of Avalon Hill's big guys back in the golden age of Avalon Hill. Eventually got so successful he started his own company, SPI. So, but if you're talking about SSI, that's a different.
Yeah, I know. I may have misspoken. It may be SPI. Now I got to pull it. That's why I'm questioning myself. Okay. I know I saw it and I had it, and I have to go re-download it.
While you're looking that up, Rusted Beetle. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I don't always have the luxury you're talking about, Rusted Beetle, but once in a while, like somebody gifts me like one tank or something, and it's not really for any particular project, or I'm not trying to build an army, so I'm not painting 10 of these or 100 of these, and it's literally just like these 28 millimeter figures. I don't even game in 28 millimeter, but I just sit down. I've got like 6 extra guys. They sent me an extra sprue of infantry for some reason. I'm not complaining. A mortar crew, a 30 caliber machine gun, a Jeep, and a half track. So a small bolt action force, like half an army's worth, just so that my Americans can stand up to my Germans, which I already have, because my Germans are too powerful right now. If I put my Germans up against my Americans as it stands, my Americans would get smoked. I mean, I've got like 45 Germans, an anti-tank gun, an armored car, multiple MG-34s, 5 centimeter mortars, 8 centimeter mortars, and my Americans are just 30 infantry. So
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely needed some reinforcements. They needed a little bit of bulking up. So I went out and bought some things, and I'm just like slowly. You sit down for an hour or two, and I, put something on the TV in the background or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is not usual for me. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm like, oh, this is what everyone's talking about when they say the hobby is fun.
Right?
I finally see the light.
I see the light. I see the light.
All right. Well, I found it on Steam. It is SSI. I knew I wasn't
There we go.
insane.
Well,
At least
wait,
on this.
Yeah.
Let me share the screen real quick. That one there. It's called War Game Construction Set, and yeah, it's a little archaic, but you can go in and create your own war games. And
Oh, look at that! That's adorable.
remember that, Jim?
No, I've never seen it before, but
Oh,
that's.
okay.
I may have to look it up now.
Yeah, there's that, and then there's an expansion you can get for it.
Does it say, do
if
you
you go-
want to play a game?
If you go to GOG.com, Jim,
Oh, yeah.
you can download it for like $3.
Grand old games. Yep.
Yep. It's on there for $3. So, and they
Yeah.
have the main and the expansion.
It reminds me of Archon.
So hold on, that's GOG, and the name of the game is, or the name of the set is.
War Game Construction Set.
And it's just GOG.com.
Yep.
Got it.
That's cool. Hey, did you tell the guys what you got for Christmas?
What did I get for Christmas?
The box set.
Box set.
Circus
I
Maximus.
got Circus Maximus.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Like a really nice copy
Like,
of it.
let's put it this way: it is new in box.
Ooh.
So the box has some shelfware on it. Inside, it is like mint.
Unpunched.
Nice.
Yeah. Everything is like so Jim, it's literally somebody had it in the back of their shop, forgot about it, and it just sat there. And I'm not going to play with it because it is mint.
I've got.
I
that,
will get another
you.
set that's not mint.
I've got that Panzer. I mean, I've already talked about
Play
it in the
it.
previous episode. I got that Panzer Blitz box that comes in the old shelf, the old
Mhm.
bookcase
Yep.
format,
Yep.
still with the black backs on the counters for the Germans and the red. I mean, this thing is old. It's about as old as I am.
Yeah.
And so when they first published Panzer Blitz in 1971, they're very, very rare. And yeah, that thing sits on my shelf and it will never, ever get opened
Yeah.
again.
I mean, it's a beautiful set. So I found some STL files specifically designed for the game so we can do the chariots in 3D and print them. So instead of using hex and counters, we can use 3D to go around the track, make it even more visually appealing. It is such a great game. If you guys have never tried Circus Maximus,
It's
you
very
got to give it.
fun.
I mean, even Dawn likes it. It's historically based, and two, it is just
Not to me, it's not.
it's. I might just print you a chariot with ostriches pulling.
Right.
it,
Ooh, there we go. Unicorns.
Emus.
We'll keep it sort of horse-like.
Make
So-
it emus. They're dangerous.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great game, and you can play it. I mean, you can play it for like with 10 players. If you have like a gaming group, and you just want to have a good afternoon of betting, you can literally bet in the game.
It's very fun.
And yeah, it's hilarious. You can crash into each other's chariots. You can crash into their horses. You can whip their other horses, make them go faster on a curve to make them flip.
You can get knocked out of your chariot and get dragged around the arena.
And we try and run you over.
Happens to
All
me.
kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
Now
Hey,
the
hold on.
question.
It reminds me of Marty and I skiing with Holman.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But-
pretty much a downhill demolition derby.
The question of the hour is: have you done your homework that I assigned in a previous episode? Watch Those Who Are About to Die on Peacock.
I haven't had a chance to yet.
Trust me, you'll be like, oh my god, how did I not know the show was here?
Yeah.
It's like Gladiator or Spartacus, but it focuses almost entirely on the actual chariot
Nice.
chariot races.
Nice.
And everything you're talking about, there are some crazy scenes in there. Somebody gets their horses bought out from under them. The horses that they've ridden with and trained with, like for God knows how long. So it's like, you just stole like my favorite horses.
Yeah.
And then he rolls up next to them, and now his opponent is driving his former horses.
Oh.
And he starts yelling to the horses, and the horses still recognize his voice.
That's
Nice.
So the horse goes, the four horse team just books it around the corner like way too fast, just like you're talking about.
Yeah.
So he doesn't whip them. He says, "Go guys, go!" And he just whip around that corner, and that's the end of that dude.
That's awesome. I'll have to check that out.
It's a pretty good show.
And-
They do pretty well. It's in the reign of Vespasian, and then I think his son Titus takes over right afterwards. So they do a pretty good job with the history too.
Yeah.
They take a few liberties near the very end, but honestly, it's almost like how certain things I won't spoil anything, but how certain things happen historically are a little murky. So it's one of those cases where if you're making a show or writing a story based in history, you get to pick what happened, because there's several theories and you will never really know exactly how certain things happened.
Yeah.
I mean, medical science wasn't what it is, back then at all.
Yeah.
So like Alexander the Great, was he poisoned? Did he die of syphilis? Nobody really knows, because,
All
they
of the
didn't have
above.
they didn't have an MRI machine back then, to really
Right.
give him a diagnosis. So it's like, well, he looks red and puffy and then he was dead. So who
Yeah.
knows what happened to him?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah,
And-
that's cool, Ben.
And I also found STL files to print the actual Circus Maximus. So if we want to do it in 3D,
Yeah.
so we can really go to town.
Yeah, Ben was a Magic player, a big time Magic player back in the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm sure whatever cards he still has are no longer legal, but because that's like way back in the late 90s when Magic was
Yeah.
first getting started.
But you know what? That's the beautiful thing about Commander, is that if Magic in general, you can play it casually as long as you're not going and trying to compete in anything. You can play with whatever the hell you want, and
Right.
I think that's the fun stuff.
Yep.
So
Compete. I just try to stay alive.
yeah, also a fun approach. Yeah.
So we watched the movie War of the Rohirrim.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't heard good things.
I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't.
I
it
was
okay.
disappointed that, I mean, the story is all about Hera.
Mhm.
And I was really hoping that we would get more history on or start the story earlier with Helm Hammerhand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not that the Hera story is bad, but
It doesn't appear in any of the
It-
literature, does it?
it's Helm Hammerhand. Why don't we
No,
talk
but I
about
mean,
that guy?
Hera doesn't. Is what I've been told.
Not
I'm
by
mixing-
name. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Referred to,
Here's
but-
my official review of the movie. Out of a score of 10, I'm going to give it a 5. The story itself was good. I thought the story was good. The anime, why they did it in anime, I have no freaking idea. I found it really detracting from the story because, like,
Ka-ching, everyone loves that. Well,
yeah.
Not this girl. I'll tell
But
you what, like,
we're
they
watching
lost me.
it, and you see them doing the big sword battles and stuff, and there's like no emotion on the face, right? It's just like
Yeah.
it's like it's hard to connect with the people, the characters, the animation characters. If Peter Jackson had filmed this just like he did Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, with the New Zealand scenery, it would have been an amazing movie. I think it really would have been.
Yeah. But the difference between a couple million versus 27 billion.
Right.
Yeah.
So the story was good. I liked the story. They didn't hold back. It's not made as a kid's cartoon. It is definitely adult anime. People die, and they die gruesomely in this.
As they
But
should.
it was hard for us to connect to the movie. We're such big fans of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all that.
Yeah, I
and,
really wanted to like it, but I didn't.
yeah, I'm glad we did not go to the theaters to watch it. That's all I can say. And drop the insane amount of money you go to the theater for these days. And we just
Oh,
waited for it to come on,
I did
Amazon.
go see it in the theater.
Did
Yeah.
you?
As did I.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I'm glad I saw it in the theater, only because if I had watched this at home, because the movie didn't pan out quite the way I want. I don't know that I would have had as good experience watching it at home, because then I got the option of
Doing something else.
I'm gonna go make a pizza.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I barely paid attention. I think I got up, went and took a shower. Like I just missed part of it. Like I did not care.
So then to make up for it, we watched The Desolation of Smog.
Yes, much
there you
better.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very nice.
And I know there are people out there that trash the Hobbit movies, saying, why did you take a book, that should only been one movie and make it into 3? Yeah, was it a money grab? Probably. But also
100%.
think about
They
it.
made up
Yeah.
all that bullshit.
But think about it, Marty. Think
It was
about
still a
it.
hell of a story.
It's a great story. Yeah, some of it is not actually in The Hobbit. They took some license, but the amount of money and time invested to make the scenery and the sets and the film, you had to make it over several movies to get your money back. You know what I'm saying?
Cinematically,
Yeah.
excellent, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
However,
Yes.
Does that include the barrel chase down the river?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
Uh,
really? That was okay.
I mean,
Come on, it's Hollywood.
but I mean, you got an elf and a dwarf trying to hook up. Come on,
I know. Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
that was
Historically
pure Hollywood.
inaccurate.
It was pure Hollywood, you know. I mean, Tauriel is not even in the books.
Yeah.
That was a total made-up character. I liked her character, actually. She's pretty badass when you just get to the fighting elf part.
Yeah.
Right? You know, her and Legolas made a hell of a team.
Yep.
But just like, you know, the movie, you ever see that movie? I think it's called Titanic.
I knew this was
Okay.
where we were gonna go.
Why is there a love story in Titanic? It should have been about the damn boat and the boat sinking and then finding the boat. You didn't have to have a stupid love story and then the dude dying at the end, falling off the. And why is that bitch not
Also, if
hogging
you
the
would've
whole float
scooted-
thing?
Yeah, you
That's
would have
love
scooted
for you.
over. He could have hung on. What the
God
hell?
damn it! What did I just watch? Jen, help me out here. What did we just watch? Where it had nothing to do with Titanic, but it was clearly a jab at Titanic. Damn it! A boat sinks, and there's a woman like on a piece of fucking wood, and then the guy swims up to her, and he's like, "Don't tell me there's no room on that piece of wood." She's like, "Oh no, there is." Come on. And I was like, "I see what it was so obvious." Damn it! I can't think of what the hell it was now. Jen's gonna remind me in the chat.
And Titanic, 3 hours of running water. I mean, when you get the super big gulp to go in and see it, it was just terrible.
I actually like Titanic. I mean, it's the amount of historical accuracy they put in that movie.
Yep.
There's a few tiny flaws in it now that they literally found new scientific evidence.
Yeah.
Like exactly where the ship broke and what angle it was when it broke and stuff like that.
Yep.
But that was literally not scientifically known at the time.
Right.
But it's pretty good. Like they even had James Ballard in the movie in a cameo where he's got the kid on one of the aft decks and he's like playing with the ball and the little hula hoop looking thing.
Yep.
That's based on one of the last photographs that somehow survived the sinking. You swear you're looking at a ghost.
Yeah.
When you're watching that. And it's how you should, I feel, it's how you should do historical fiction. If you want to do historical fiction, you make up a couple of, fictitious characters. Like back when I used to write historical fiction, I had a character, his name was, the hell was his first name? It doesn't even matter now. But a whole little family in upstate New York that fought through the Saratoga campaign. They knew Benedict Arnold. They met Philip Schuyler. They met some of the main guys. I didn't try to like Band of Brothers that where the historical characters were the main characters because there you're always going to get into trouble. Band of Brothers, Steve Ambrose, all those guys are coming under incredible scrutiny now because that show is nowhere near as accurate as people like to think it is. To the point where they get sued by some of the families, and it's just really screwed up. And that's almost inevitable when you make the main characters of your show the historical characters.
Right.
So to make a group of fictional characters and then have them occasionally brush up against or interact with, have conversation like Rose knew Thomas Andrews. She had a couple conversations with him on the boat, but they didn't like get super involved or whatever.
Right.
Stuff like that I like, and this goes back to what you're talking about with the Lords of the Ring cartoon. Is, I mean, I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy. I'm not an expert. I'm not really a huge fantasy fan or Lord of the Rings fan, but I have a lot of friends who are, and they're kind of split. Like, the whole thing's about Hera. Hera wasn't in the books. Why are you making this up? I'm like, well, guys, and some of the other fans are like, look, if we made the main character one of the books or one of the main characters from the literature, everyone would be bitching that we didn't do it right, or that we got certain details wrong, or 1, 2, 3, whatever. Here we're actually expanding the lore a little bit, not making up a new character, but kind of making up a new character. She's never mentioned by name, but we know she's there. and sort of expanding it. And now we can't really do it wrong because it's our own character
Right.
and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But then that main character is taking away things that the real characters did, and I think it
Yeah.
fuels the debate. But there's two sides to that coin. Is all.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think they did
Is
a
all I'm
pretty good
saying.
job.
Yeah.
As far as that story goes, I was just hoping they would actually start before that, so that way we could get a little bit of Hammerhand himself.
Right.
kind of see his, because I was interested in his lore as well.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
didn't realize we weren't going to get any. I mean, it starts at the end for him, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I want to see more of that dude.
You see,
But,
I enjoyed it just because it was one of those. I went into it knowing that it was going to be one, a cartoon, and two, it's a story. So I just go in and enjoy the story. And what
Yeah.
was great is after the movie, we went shooting. So
Yeah.
it was a good day overall.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
we did go to the range afterwards. So
There you go. But
We're
you know,
getting the frustrations.
but to Jim's point, but like Titanic, just leave the love story shit out, okay? But another great historically based movie that I really enjoy is The Patriot. I think that guy is just awesome.
I ain't rising to that bait.
Jim's not taking it today.
They did have the sense to change who he was, like midway,
Hold on.
like Benjamin Martin in that movie is a fictional character.
Uh-huh.
In the early drafts, he was Francis Marion. And they
Oh,
did
was he
have the-
really? Yeah.
They did have the good sense to change it halfway through, because then they actually read a book about the guy, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
"Holy shit, maybe we should make a movie about this guy." 'Cause,
Yeah.
ooh. I mean, not to get all woke or anything, but even if you're not like super, all American heroes are actually trash. Like no, this guy is should not be in our pantheon. Trust me. So there's a reason, no bases are named after this guy, or
Yeah.
trust me.
My favorite historical movie, I would have to say, is Countdown.
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so secret. That's why no one knows about it.
Yeah.
It totally happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
a huge cover up.
They just they ended that a little too early in my mind. We should have let it rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the things which led to, the new War Over Hiram Games Workshop set came out, and I was going to buy it, and I was going to send it to Gaz's mom's house in Wales when he was there for Christmas Exodus, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. I don't know, man. Have you guys looked at the new? I know, Jim, you're not a fan of it, so you probably it's Games Workshop, so you're not going to touch it with the 10-foot pole, but I don't know if Marty and Chris, if you've seen it, the characters look, I mean, it's Games Workshop, so the minis do look good, right? They're pretty crisp, good plastic. But the miniatures, if you look at a comparison from original LOTR to this set, they look a little cartoony-ish. And I mean,
Well,
and I know there's people out there who are associated with the film War Over Hiram who are going, it's not a freaking cartoon.
yeah, whatever.
It's anime. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there are people who will give you a dissertation on the difference between a cartoon and anime.
If it ain't live
Okay.
action, whatever. So moving on.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anime is a type of cartoon, but I understand that.
Yeah.
But
I think part of the deal is that they were trying to make the figures look very similar to the
Right.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that style comes through in the models they've created.
Yeah.
And if you like that style, then you're disappointed because it's not enough of it.
Yeah.
If you don't like that style, then you're disappointed because it has any of it in there. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the consensus on it. But like my old set, I've got King Theoden. You know who he looks like? Theoden. I
Right.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's disjointed.
It
so
is.
if you're gonna use it,
Let me see if I can bring it up.
if
Yeah,
you're
Donna,
gonna have a collection, like it does look visually very different than the rest of the stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I
turns
would
out there's
almost say
already
like,
Riders of Rohan. Now, understandably, these are different times, but
right.
they're kind of disjointed, as you said. When
Yep.
this set of riders versus the ones that they've already got. So I don't know.
I would almost like pick a lane and go for it.
Yep.
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 You're gonna piss off 50% of the fans, but that's better than disappointing 100% of the fans.
Yeah.
They found a way to accomplish that high feat, by being half of one and not enough of the other.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, I'm looking at the minis. The ones that are here, I'll bring it up. The ones that are on the screen don't actually look that bad, but I'm trying to remember which one it was that looked very cartoony. I mean, this
Hera.
definitely,
So my question is, can you mitigate that with the way you paint the miniature?
and that's maybe possible.
I mean, yeah, but Hera looks pretty cartoony.
Yeah. And it's a nice set. You get quite a bit for
I mean, the
$220.
buildings,
Those
the buildings
buildings
are
look
awesome.
nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
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 buildings
I
are
can't. I don't know where
neat.
Hera's at, but I unfortunately will probably buy it. Go figure. I know people are surprised I haven't
This is
actually
brand
done
new
it yet.
information.
Don't you have a giant bolt action armor you're still gonna paint?
Yes,
Winter
I
armor?
got 3rd edition bolt action sit right there.
I even sent you some minis. I sent you the minis.
Yeah,
so
I
you
know.
would
I
paint
got to
them.
put the
Okay.
together.
You added to his pile of gray, and
Okay,
I was
so
hoping Gaz was gonna paint them. I was like, Gaz, paint this one set of this 175mm pack howitzer first.
So
He did not paint while he was
yeah,
here.
he didn't hobby at all while
All
I was
right.
here.
Okay.
We played games. We played
Yeah.
games. That was it.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you
So
got that in at
to be
least.
truthful, my painting hobby table needs to be redone. I'm out of space since I got the 3rd wave of Tooth and Coat spades, and it's been very, very difficult to do anything with detail with this arm because this is about as high as I can raise it on its own.
All right.
So
Bill's got a frozen shoulder.
I have frozen shoulder. So, and I'm left-handed. And Marty, have a great time. Tell her happy
Yep.
birthday.
Yeah.
For the audience, I got to punch out. It's my daughter's birthday, so she made brunch reservations. So
Nice.
it was great to jump in and chat with everyone, and we will see you hopefully in the next one.
Yep. And enjoy your tea time.
Yeah, we're going.
And that's not golf.
we're going to a tea room. Yay!
Yay.
Yeah.
All right,
Have fun.
Bye, Marty.
see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So we do have an announcement. Kind of a big one, don't we?
Oh,
Yeah.
About Adapticon.
Oh, yeah.
No. I'm like, your kids moving again?
Yeah.
No. So let me chunk out Marty. We unfortunately will not be attending Adapticon this year. Dawn has to travel for work. So we
It's
won't.
not exactly at the same time,
but
it's
close
gonna be
enough.
awfully close.
Yeah.
and just
So
a little too much going on. And with it being farther away now, it just was like, I think we're gonna pass.
yeah.
So I'm bummed. I'll definitely be bummed while it's going on. We always are. That's how it works.
I'll be sure to send you a bunch of pictures.
That's cool. I'll repay the favor when we're in Florida.
I know you will. Actually, I will be repaying the favor.
So yeah, we have to travel to. Oh my God, it's terrible when you have to travel for work, especially to the Florida Keys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris seems very heartbroken.
So Chris,
I
are
hope
you
it
gonna
rains.
do a bunch of stuff while you're there, or have you thought much about it yet?
Then looking at the spreadsheet, they did a very nice job this year.
Mhm.
All of the every session you can download as a spreadsheet now, fully searchable and everything.
That's cool.
Marty and I were talking. He's only doing like one training thing a day, and I think that's about right.
Yeah.
But I also want to get in some demos
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
and learn some games.
Oh,
Cool.
there you go. So yeah, we've been kicking it back and forth. Yes, we're going out, and we got an invite to an event last night, and I had to reach out to the guy and say, "Geez, I'm sorry. As of right now, it doesn't look like we'll be attending. They're having a charity event for Dragonfall, which we were a sponsor of last year. So it just timing wise, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Who knows? So, but there's other events. We'll see. Maybe we can get on the books early enough for Historicon this year, and we can actually coordinate that one instead of last minute. So,
oh yeah. I remember we got invited like 11 days before the event
Yeah.
or something. It's way too
Yes, sir.
late now, guys.
Yeah.
So, and I know we have Little Wars, and when is Little Wars, Chris? April?
No clue.
I think so.
It's probably around the time
It
we have to be in
probably
Florida.
is. Yeah, it probably
So,
is.
We might have the remote team of Martin and Schaefer. Martin and Schaefer and Wimmer. Whatever. I'm getting old. Leave me alone. I'm getting old. I don't know. I need you to get up and get my teeth put in, and I gotta go. So, all that good stuff. But to Jim's point, I do have 3rd edition bolt action to put together the winter shit. And I'm gonna work on his artillery piece.
That's why I sent it, because I mean, they sent it to me. I ordered a Jeep. They sent me this, and I would have kept it, but it was in that winter gear. So
I know. Yeah. So it'll fit nicely on the battlefield for 3rd edition.
the only American bolt actions the reason I have the American bolt actions I do is the only force I have to put them up against are my German Africa Corps, and that's going to be a desert. And Tunisia was pretty cold that winter, but in the spring, it starts to get hot again. So
yep. Rusted Beetle, just to answer your question if we didn't answer it, or yes, the new plastics are based on the new movie War of Rohirrim. Yeah. I mean, they don't look as anime as I thought they did when I looked at them again, but I don't know. Again, like I said, I'll probably order them. But yeah, this is 2025, isn't it? 2025. So, more historical stuff. So, got to get Bolt Action 3rd edition out, Blackout. I mean, we still have Blackout sitting in the package. Go figure. And In Country, which are the 2 small skirmish games from Enemy Spotted Studios. So got all
They
that.
have a bunch of,
if you guys are interested, if you're interested, there's a little survey out on Facebook about Modern Warfare games, which one is the most played. So if you're looking to vote, check those out. Just go to probably the best one is if you go to Battlespace. He's got links to it there. Battlespace is the solo Modern Warfare
Salters,
game.
Right?
Yep, Robert Salters. And you can vote on there. I mean, they've got Spectre, they've got Ultra Combat Modern, they've got
if you're talking about like which one is like played the most widely across the community, I still think you got to put Force on Force on there.
Force on Force is an option. So I haven't seen the most recent results, but give it a look if that's your kit bag.
We gotta put some more modern stuff. I know you've got some. I mean, I've got some World War II build stuff coming up. I know we're gonna do some Orcs Drift stuff, but with all the bulge stuff that we've been doing lately, just a quick promise to the community. I've got some feelers out to some of my players. We are gonna get back to some modern stuff. I promise. I know it's been a while. It's probably been good grief. I think Skybin in Ukraine was the last modern thing we did back in November. So it's been like 3 months since we've done anything modern, but we are going to get back to it. I promise.
Well, Jim, you and I owe, what's the guy's name? The creator of Contact Front.
Second edition.
Said, he reached out to us and said, can we do another, because they came out with the 2nd edition of it and do another playthrough, and he would participate with us.
As long as we can do it virtually,
well, just like we did the last time.
I still have all those assets. I still have that map somewhere.
Yeah, if we can do it that way, that would be the easiest. That worked out really good, and we'll get him on there, and get some Contact Front, and we got to get Battlespace, on there with the new set that just came out from Odysseus. I have it, so we can get that going. I think Marty just got his. Chris, did you get it as well?
No, I did not.
You did not? Okay. So we get some of that. And I still owe who's the creator of Black Powder Red Earth? Is it Stephen Chang? Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
It's another modern space. It's it's based on a graphic novel. We had him on for an interview during Adepticon last year. So yeah, the only reason I haven't pulled the trigger on that set is 1, we've got a lot of stuff, and 2, it's a very good set, but it's a higher end boutique set, so it's
what
a little pricey.
Called? Crimson Earth, Black Earth,
Black Powder
Red Earth.
Black Powder Red Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, John Chang.
John Chang. Thank you. Sorry, John. I don't know why I totally vaped on the name there. But I mean, the miniatures are beautiful. It's a very high production value. You know, I say it every year. My goal for 20 whatever is to get through what I have and not buy anything else. And we saw how well that worked last year. So, but I honestly,
I think you should set a new realistic goal, which
What's
is buy all the things.
buy all the things. You heard it here, kids.
No, don't do that.
See, I would have been in trouble if I said that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I really want to start narrowing down some stuff to what. Okay, so I am going through a little bit of a crisis. Obviously, I can't really do a lot of painting and hobby because, you know, I have limited use of my left arm. And of course, I'm left-handed. So it really skews it. It's like I haven't been able to work on Captain Winters because I just can't get the detail because I just don't have a lot of movement without it extreme pain, even though with therapy. Hi, all. Happy to catch another live stream. All happy to see any contact front. I'm currently building in scimitars and scorpions from the
Nice.
Falcons.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
The one tank battle in that war. It actually did happen.
Oh,
The morning of the last day of the war, I think. Either a scorpion or a scimitar traded fire with one of the Argentinian ERC 90s. I'm probably getting that wrong.
Mhm.
But armored vehicles did shoot at each other exactly once in that conflict. So awesome. So
so we will
you were showing
actually,
the color wheel for a second?
that is our going to be our wheel of what are we going to do this
Okay.
week? You know, for stream. Finally have it here. I just got to put it together and then because I've been struggling. I'll be honest with you. I've been struggling. I look at the stuff and I'm like, man, I just don't have the power, desire to do it. I'm, you know, between being in school full time, working full time.
There's been a lot going on.
Yeah, just a lot going on. It's just like when hobby becomes like it's a chore, then it's no longer
Yeah.
fun.
I've
Does that
been
make sense?
telling you that for
Absolutely.
years.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, that's why I've kind of been like, you know, the motivation level is just not there. And I'm trying to find something to motivate me. You know, so I've been really enjoying Jim's virtual stuff. And, you know, that's why I'm looking at the war game construction set. Yes, I know it's very archaic and basic, but be able to play games like that.
We just streamed Panzer General from 1993, and it was a pretty successful stream. So don't worry
Yeah.
about archaic or basic because people like archaic and basic.
Yeah. So, you know, but I do want to get back to some of the roots of miniature games as well. You know, if you watched Uncle Adam's video from last night, Tabletop Minions, he made a good point about there are people who are new to the hobby and have been in it for years who have suddenly gotten to the point where they just don't want to put stuff together and paint it anymore. They just want to play a game.
Yep.
Or they don't want to play a game. They just want to do the hobby. And,
You used
you know,
to see that at those boot camps we used to have at on tabletop / Beasts of War. Like on the second day, that boot camp would split into two camps. There's the guys who have like they sprayed their minis and maybe put some zenithal on them, and they're at those tables chucking dice. And then there's the people that just sit in that front room with their three odd brushes, and they're painting the rims on every friggin' wheel of their Panzer Mark IIIs.
Right.
There are painters and there are gamers.
Yep. Yeah. And I always thought I was both. And I still think that right now, I feel like I just haven't been playing games. It's talk about them, read about them, look at the minis, paint some minis, and not really get to, play it. I don't want to be a model maker anymore. I mean, I did hobby, model making as a hobby back when I was a kid, and you put it together, it looks great. And then you're like, well, now what do I do with the damn thing? And then you hang it from your ceiling like every other kid, from your jets and helicopters.
You dust it once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Try not to break off the sidewinders as you're dusting the plane or whatever.
Right. Or the rotor
There you
blade or the tail rotor, usually it was
helicopters, man. I've gotten to the point where I hate helicopters. I have a fleet of them. I have like 7 or 8 of them. And they're always the first thing to break. Whenever I take them down to the club, I just throw a bottle of super glue in there with them. Because by the time I take it to 15 miles down I-95 to the club, something broke. The machine guns on the tanks, the radio antenna on the tanks. I mean, all the other like the super fragile stuff. For some reason, helicopters are always my most fragile stuff.
You can't treat a helicopter like a tank, Jim.
Well, apparently not. No.
Yeah. So, it's stuff to look at. One of the things I really enjoy about the hobby, believe it, is just rule books. I love getting a well done rule book, well laid out, especially if it's hardback, and being able to sit down and read a rule book. I love the Games Workshop rule books. They're very well made. I mean, regardless of what your thought about Games Workshop is, they're fluff. The way they take photographs of the miniatures and scenarios and stuff. It's very well done, and I enjoy reading rule books. I know it sounds weird, but I really do enjoy them. So, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I definitely want to get bolt action done. I mean, we have stuff to do, and I do have somebody who's willing to take on a project as long as I send it to him. He is going to be starting his own YouTube channel, right? The YouTube Twitch channel. Gaz is going to start a new project.
My only advice would be like, don't try to like. Whenever I'm painting like a large army or whatever, I don't like pick. I mean, you guys are probably know this, but you don't pick up like one miniature and get them the way you want them, then pick up the next one. Like literally just base the whole thing in like black, and then zenithal it in like your base color, and just only do the zenithal. You got free shadows that way, and then maybe do like get to 3 colors and up, and then at least that way you can say, okay, it's technically done. Move on to the next thing. Otherwise, like if you get sunk into it, especially 28 mil stuff. I've been chewing on these 15, like literally 15 guys and 2 vehicles, chewing on it for a month. Now, granted, December was a hell of a month for reasons we've already talked about.
Yeah. We'll catch it some.
And I'm still chewing on it. I mean, I'm going to be working on it through at least, it's already halfway through January. I mean, probably till late January. I'll finish up the miniature, like the guys, probably today, but then I got to work on the vehicles. And 28 millimeter vehicles is something I am not good at yet. I'm pretty good at 28 millimeter guys, but 28 millimeter vehicles, I just don't have the knack yet. I'll paint 15 mil miniatures until they look like 28 millimeter miniatures. Like I take photos of them, I put them up. People are like, what scale is that, 20 or 28? I'm like, it's 15. They're like, whoa. But I put up my 28 and they're like, oh, those are good for 15 mil. I'm like, no, those are 28, man. So yeah.
Well, I think your work is real good, Jim. I mean, don't cut yourself short on that. I think it's, and that's the thing. Like, I want to get another 3D printer, an FDM printer, like a Bamboo, so I can do this terrain, because it's a lot of resin to use to do it in resin. But it's like, man, is it really worth the investment right now?
Well, you're just going to create more miniatures for you to paint. It sounds like your bottleneck is painting.
Yeah, you can actually
cell shade them. Base them black, or I should say prime them black, do the base from zenithal, dip them, add 1 color, you're done. You technically have 3 colors at that point.
That's true.
You could go all in and get the AMS and have 4 color printing.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that doesn't help with the pile he has now, though.
No.
I need to just get through.
Painted, basically.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't help with what he has on the table now. We gotta reduce what's on the table now first.
Yeah, I need to get through what I got first, and I got to finish up my Napoleonic set that I got from War.
Or sell it,
and those would be easy.
Or sell it. That's a quick way to get rid of miniatures. You don't have time to paint and sell them.
Yeah, I know, but selling.
Just thinking outside the box.
It's like, but those are my babies.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And maybe things will change once you get through therapy and get that. Get the shoulder working again.
Yep. So, all right. Anybody else have some last thoughts as we round out the show? Our first episode of season 11. Don, do you have any thoughts?
No.
No thoughts, huh?
No, other than I'm still waiting on my pledge from Tales from Red Dragon Inn.
Oh, yeah.
That I keep looking, that I don't know why it has not come yet. Because it's not like it's a new game, it's a reprint.
Right. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading up on Star Trek, the role playing game, because I'd like to get a session of
Oh
people
yeah,
together.
I did
virtually.
respond to that.
Yeah, you
Yep.
did. I just have, again, it's sitting on the list of things
Just
to do.
curious, which era are
Uh,
we talking about? Or did you have an idea on that yet?
See, I was gonna.
TOS,
know.
TNG. I mean, those are the two
Oh
basic
my god,
choices.
probably
There you
TNG. Probably TNG. Because that's what most people
Mhm.
our age is familiar with.
Bye,
Mm,
Ben.
Bye,
Sure.
Ben. So we'll probably do that era. That you know. So that'll be it. So it's on my thing. It's on the thing to do.
The thing.
The thing.
Mm,
Chris, what about you, bud?
Just trying to keep painting and try to build the habit.
Are you still RPG?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool.
The
And Jim, you got
there's the new monster manual, which is dropping in a couple of weeks, and everything
No.
looks good.
No,
Okay.
absolutely
what happened?
not.
What did I miss?
No, they have totally gone off the deep end with D&D.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard.
There is literally stuff in the new reprint edition. I don't know. It's not considered a new edition, right? Is
Just
it a new edition or
2024
just
edition,
yeah? But I mean, like, you have to respect the goblin race. Not all goblins are bad or bullshit like that. And there's a thing about having a timeout safe space, and get the fuck over it. So
That's not in the monster manual.
it's in the Dungeons and Dragons, the DM manual, the player's manual. Sorry.
What used to be White Wolf, which was the only role-playing game I got super into after the 1990s, is like the new 5th edition, like werewolf and vampire and stuff like that. Mage, it's kind of the same way. Like they just wiped out whole tribes of certain werewolves because they were culturally problematic, and then the reasons they list for them being culturally problematic are not accurate to the original lore that was written in the past.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can't have the Fianna tribe anymore, which is like our favorite tribe. They can't have the Fianna tribe anymore because it's all drunken Irish stereotypes. Like, you people read your own friggin' lore. It's Celtic. It's anything Celtic, Proto-Celtic, Gaelic. So you've got Irish, Welsh, Scottish. You've got Britain, France. You've got Basque Spaniards. You've got Australians. You got Kiwis. You got New Zealanders. Half of the United States is Irish in one degree or another. I mean, to sit there and say it's just, well, we don't want to have a group that's just Irish because that propagates certain negative stereotypes about, oh, go friggin' stick it in your ass. I mean,
So,
there's a lot of that in a lot of RPG settings. It sounds like D&D is certainly the leading example. But
it's Hasbro. Now, what's funny is they released a book about the history of it, and it pissed off a lot of people. One of them was Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And
well, it's pissed off a lot of people because they trash Gary Gygax and don't even give him the proper credit.
Where I was going with it is pissed off Elon Musk, and he's like, "How much for Hasbro?"
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fix a lot of stuff.
So.
Yep.
He's
anyway,
give him
the
the Twitter treatment.
Yeah.
80% of you bastards are fired. Just hit the brick.
I could go on a whole rant about RPGs and how they're designed, and they're talking about, well, they should include these people, and these people feel left out, and blah blah blah. The whole idea behind an RPG is you're role playing. Yeah. You're playing somebody you are not. I am not an elf ranger.
Yeah.
What?
But I play an elf ranger, right? And I can't speak for somebody who has disabilities, like they're in a wheelchair permanently. But do you honestly think they want to play a character that's in a wheelchair, or do they want to be somebody that can run around free and have all these adventures? I mean, maybe they do. But I know people that, I've been in role-playing sessions that are totally way out there, right? Because they want to be somebody else. That's the whole idea of being in role-playing.
It's good that it's an option, but it shouldn't be like pushed on, made into a mandatory aspect of the game.
Correct. So anyway, we're going to close out the show. Thank you very much for joining us on Zulu. Nothing but Zulu.
We talked about a lot of things besides Zulus, but that's okay.
We did.
Hey, be happy that I didn't break into ABBA song every time someone mentioned Waterloo.
Yeah, right. I would have joined in too. See, yeah, I understand the reference.
I get it too.
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad song for
Yeah.
a 70s disco flick.
Yep.
All right, guys, we will see you in the next show. Thank you very much for joining
Bye,
us.
everyone.
Have a great time. Jim, you got a couple videos coming out next weekend.
Okay, so here's our tentative schedule here. Here's what's definitely happening. We're definitely having 2 more edited videos. It's been a while since we've had some good edited content. So we've got some edited videos coming out next Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Our normal schedule. Next weekend and the weekend after, so we'll be able to close out January. And I can't promise this because I have to make sure it's still going on. I know we've been doing a lot of Bulge content, but we might do another huge Bulge battle next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time here in the U.S. because there might be another. There was going to be, like, remember that big Normandy battle that Pete Panzer put on for the 80th anniversary of Normandy? He's trying to put together another one for the Bulge. He had it scheduled for like the 18th of December, but that's like a week before the week before Christmas. Everybody's busy or whatever.
Right.
So we postponed it till January. So we're technically still in, because the Battle of Bulge technically lasts through most of January 1945. So we might do that a live stream next Saturday. I'm not sure if that's still on or whether or not I'm going to be able to make it down there and stream from the club. That's presents some technical challenges, but we've made it work in the past. So we may do that, but failing that, we're definitely going to have at least 2 more pieces of edited content the next 2 weekends. So I think that's January 18th, 19th, and then again on the 25th, 26th. So, and
Awesome.
after that, yeah, we will be getting back to some moderns. I got some feelers out to some of my players. No sure if it's going to be Valor and Victory, Panzer Leader. It's going to be something modern that we can do. I might set up something new at the club in late January or early February. So yeah, we're going to get back to moderns, everybody. I know it's been a while since we've hit moderns, and this is supposed to be like a 50% modern channel. Lately, it's been like 5%, but we're going to get back to it. I promise.
Yeah, there's just so much in the historical world. And then tomorrow will be the Battle of Isla Nublar.
Oh,
So,
nice.
there you go.
What year are you planning on doing it on site?
What?
Works Drift and actually going to the original site.
I got to travel there. South Africa.
Yeah. Well, I got to convince somebody that I'd make a great vacation option.
Told you, Animal Kingdom. We'll get.
We might be playing Rourke's Drift from our hotel at the Animal Kingdom
We'll
in
get
Walt
the
Disney World.
3-bedroom. You'll get the big ass dining room table. It'll be great.
Hey, if that happens,
Camera
in
out
all
so you can see the
seriousness, if that
savannah.
happens, let me know, because my dad lives not in Orlando, but pretty close. And I've met, because everybody in Europe comes to the Walt Disney World sooner or later. So a lot of our old on tabletop and Beasts of War friends come over to Disney World, and when they do, they say, "Hey, Oriskany, am I going to be in your neck of the woods?" I'm like, "I can get there," because people in Europe have no idea how big America is or whatever. They're like, "You're coming to America. They're coming to Florida, so swing by and stop me." I'm like, "You're coming like 4 hours away from me, 6 hours away from me."
Well, they got that new super train that goes up there from Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I can swing up there and see my dad. That's the base of operations. And then from where my dad is, my dad's always like, "Yeah, come up here like anytime. Trust me." So I just swing up there, and then I'm like 30 minutes away from Orlando from there.
Great. Perfect. So now we're doing Rourke's Drift at Disney World. God dang it.
You guys have fun. I'll be at the Magic Kingdom or at Epcot drinking around the world.
All right, kids. I thank you very much for joining us. We will see you in the next one.
Have a great
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the SITREP Podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our channels on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Discord. Remember to join us every other weekend for a new episode of the podcast, and don't forget our other programming on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thanks for